Welcome, everybody. This is Brian Terrian from the Disability Digest, and thank you for joining the YouTube live session here today or listening to the replay. In today's event, I'm going to go through three of the commonly asked questions that we have. What's the difference between Social Security disability and SSI, whether you're approved or not approved? I'm going to address that. Um, and for those of you that do not qualify for a disability check because you haven't worked enough, I'm going to talk about that and how to find out your check amount. Use your My SSA account, some tips for that. So here at the and then I'm going to answer your questions like Bob. I got your question all lined up for you. I'll take care of that. Here at the Disability Digest, I have been working and helping people, advocating for them to help individuals get their disability benefits approved fast. And once somebody is approved, work on the different things that you need to do to keep your benefits because they're reviewed now more than ever. And then different ways to maximize your Social Security benefits, like things that you are paying for, you shouldn't, things that you're entitled to, but you don't know about, little things like your cell phone or your internet bill or things like that are things that we've collected. So we've been doing this work since 2006. And here is just kind of a big picture. At the end, I'll give you some tips on how you can get some additional information, more details about the topics that we're going to talk about today. So, as you join us again, welcome. You're welcome to put in your question and type your question in, and I'll take some time to address those after I go through the basics. Before I get into the key things that I want to talk about today, and I'm not running away when I go to this other computer over here, is what I'm doing, but I just want to make sure I stay on track with my notes. Here at the Disability Digest, like on our YouTube channel, we put out 2 to 3 different topics, news topics that are relevant to our audience to help them. And then we do these live events on Wednesdays now, which seem to be going better. We were doing it on Friday, but must be people are in the Friday mode and the attendance was So certainly take advantage of those. A few of the key media pieces that were put out recently this last week was there is the 2023 proposed budget from Social Security. And in that video, I reviewed the key things that people need to know about getting their benefits and keeping their benefits. So if you haven't watched that video, I would encourage you to watch it in its entirety. Um, One of the other things that just continues to gnaw at me and bother me, and I put out a video last Friday about it while I was in the midst of my bike ride, um, is Social Security is spending a gargantuan amount of money, in my opinion, $1.7 billion on disability reviews. So they're reviewing those that are in pay status to see if they're still entitled to it. Reason why they're doing that is because for every dollar they spend, they get 8 back. So few things on that. You want to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to stay in pay status. We cover all of that here. For members, we have a course that teaches you how to prepare, what you need to do, what happens when you get it, what happens if it gets denied, all of that. So my point is on my rant on this is in that Friday message is I encourage people to contact their congressman, and to do this, to contact their congressman and say, hey, listen, instead of spending money on your disability reviews, why don't you stop spending money on disability reviews and help people get approved? There's a massive problem now with people getting approved because of the wait time. Should be about 5 months for your first decision, but now it's taking 9, 18. Bob, I know you're going through the process. I don't remember how long you've been at it. Um, but it's not common that people are getting decisions in the range that they should. So it's the same staff, it's the same team that's doing these benefit reviews that should be working on the approvals. And not getting people approved is causing problems. The extreme problems, we've had two people die before they got their decision. Now, would they have survived? Maybe, maybe not. But they at least deserve to have a fair decision in a timely manner. So if they stopped spending money and took the money from the reviews and retargeted and rechanneled those efforts until they got the approval times back in line, that would be a nice gesture so people would get what they would pay for. And those of you that are getting benefit reviews wouldn't get as many. Everybody wins. So follow that video for the directions. Okay, few things I want to cover today. And I put these resources in the show notes. I'll remind you again at the end. I want to talk about the difference between Social Security disability and SSI, welfare, social insurance. Um, and again, on how that will impact somebody that is not approved and somebody that is approved. So, first of all, to qualify for your Social Security disability benefits, it's based on your work history. As a general rule, you've worked 50% or more of the last 10 years and paid your taxes. It's another part. And based on the amount of tax that you've paid, you'll receive a Social Security disability check if you qualify and get approved. The average check amount that we see here is $1,350 a month, right? So now for individuals that haven't worked 50% or more of the last 10 years, they don't qualify for a disability check, um, which is unfortunate. And what they might qualify for is SSI. SSI is based on your health conditions and your income and your asset levels. As a general rule, if you're an individual and you have, apart from your house and your car, you have less than $1,500 in assets, meaning that you don't have an IRA, you don't have any savings or trust funds or uh, cash or jewelry, anything like that that's liquid, then you're a candidate for it. Family, as a married couple, it's about 2,500. And every state is slightly different. There's Social Security disability is a federal program, but the SSI is not. So the difference is if you receive SSI, you may get some money depending on your household assets. You might get up to like I think it's 800 and something dollars now a month, and Medicaid. With Social Security disability, as I mentioned, the average check is $1,350, and you get Medicare. Those are the two difference: work or you didn't work. Now, how and can you have both? Here's the other thing: you can have both. So let's roll it forward for those of you that are approved for disability. It's common if your disability check is below $1,500 as an individual that you receive both um, Social Security disability income, which has the Medicare component to it for insurance, and you also would receive Medicare. Call that dual eligible. Dual meaning that you get Medicare and Medicaid. From a healthcare perspective and coverage, that's, in my opinion, top shelf because Medicaid has its advantages and Medicare has its advantages, and they don't conflict with each other. So there's a lot of information that we have on the channel here, and of course, as a member, you can request a benefit review, and we can review the options that you have and how to combine them and maximize both. So those are some of the big picture things that are the differences. Now, one other point I want to go over regarding SSI is if you have not worked enough to qualify for a disability check, and I'm going to go through that as a third point, how to find that out, um, then it is good for you, in my opinion, to understand how close you are to qualifying. Now, most people need 40 credits to qualify for Social Security disability. And if you find that maybe you didn't work 50% or more of the last 10 years, but you worked 40% or 45%. And and that means that you have 38 or 39 credits. The credit language Social Security speaks, and you can find that out by talking to them. And if you only need one or two credits, then you may want to consider putting in the effort to restore those credits because it doesn't take much. Um, and this is in the show notes as well. If you earn $1,510 today at the time of today's event in one quarter, like in one 3 month period, that gets you one credit, right? So, and you can earn the maximum of one credit per quarter. So if you're one or two credits off, one credit, you've got to earn $1,510 in a 3 month period. Second, if you need another credit, then the next quarter you got to earn another $1,510. Then you restored your check. I mean, your check might be, if it's an average one like here, $1,350. So that's far better than if you would qualify for a welfare check. So those are some of the things that I encourage people to take into consideration. 28% of the people that come to us on average have not worked enough to uh, qualify for a disability check. Oftentimes they don't know it. We help them find it out. We help them work with them to understand what they need to do to restore it. So that's a key thing. Work at home moms, unfortunate but common example. They stay at home, don't know about this. Had they had a little part-time job or part-time gig, they would stay insured and working, but they don't. So that's key. Now, last thing I want to go over is how to find out your check amount, or if you're going through the disability approval process, this will also help you, is your My Social Security account. You go to ssa.gov and then either log into or set up an online account, your My SSA account. And in that account, if you haven't been in there, you can see if you qualify. If you do qualify, it'll tell you what your check amount is. If you don't qualify, it'll tell you that too. Probably not what you want to find out. If you're in the application process, this is the very best way, in my opinion, to monitor the progress of your application. Um, and the information that you receive there is updated real time. So when they update your account, you'll see the information in there, and then 5, 7, 10 days later, you would receive something in the mail. So if you really want to know what's going on, check it in there, especially going through the process, because if you unfortunately get denied, you have a window of time to appeal that 60 days. And it could take you 7 to 10 days to receive that notice via mail. But if you're checking it online, it would be advantageous for you. Okay. So those are a few tips. This information is going to be in the show notes, and how you can find that, if you're when this video is done, let's go back to the replay and you click below the video, and you'll be able to see the resources. And also below these three that I talked about will be some other standard resources that help uh, people stretch, maximize their benefits, survive, like savings on healthcare items, dental, different ways to go back to work, how much money you can make and keep your benefits, housing assistance. There's a few other resources in there for you. So I'm going to take some time and go through the questions. And I want to help Bob out first. Bob is going through the disability approval process. He has an appointment tomorrow with the doctor from DDS is sending him to. Don't even know what an internal medicine doctor is. Okay. So, Bob, internal medicine is family medicine. These are just like general practitioners. And this is a key part of your approval process, because you want to make sure that the evaluation that is done by this doctor is one is consistent with what your medical records report and that it's re- documented properly. And the challenge with these, in my opinion, has been is that um, it's could be their opinion against yours. So in our the disability digest here, we have a complete Social Security disability course, and I don't remember if you're a member and if we've been through and assigned this to you, but if we haven't, it's not too late to get it for tomorrow. It's lesson number 3 in the disability approval course. And just to back up, the course is no charge for our members. It teaches you what to do, what not to do to go through the process. So for that exam tomorrow, there's 6 key things that you need to do so that you get the best out of it. So I'm going to go through a few of those with you here, and then Bob, if you have the course, go into 3. If you don't, reach out to us. So I don't go alone. And they might say, well, listen, we can't bring anybody in because of COVID and all that. But this is important because it could end up being their word against yours, and that's the biggest problem. So if you bring an advocate and say, you can simply say, well, listen, because of my conditions, I'm not able to retain things. I might not remember the questions that you asked me, and I want to make sure everything is right. I really need my disability income. So my advocate's going to come in with me. And your advocate's job is to come in and record it and say, listen, we're going to record this. They might say no. They might dig their heels in and say, well, listen, no, you know, for whatever reason that you can't record it. And if they're not able to record it, then what you want to do is looking around for a piece of paper. It's just have your advocate right there with a lined piece of paper, put the start time down, put the questions that were asked and the responses. Just simple 3, 4 words at each, right? And then you want to take that information and you want to put it into your case file. You want to make sure you scan it. Uh, and when we're coaching members directly through the process, we just want to put it in the case file to make sure that when they report back, then it's consistent. Now, this holds them accountable. That's just one thing. The other second out of the 6 tips is bring your medical records. And we advise people, and if you can, it's just your primary care, just bring them in, bring 100 pages of printed medical records. Say, this is all of my conditions. And you can use your primary care ones because they're like the gatekeeper for everything else. They're going to send you to pain management, send you for your mental health and all of that. But if you just do that, and this same tip, hang on to it if you're approved, because if you go through the disability review process and it doesn't go well in the first round, you're going to be going back through this loop. Okay, so it certainly would apply to you. All right, Bob. Hope that helps. All right, let's see what else here. What if it's been over 5 years since you've worked? Is it hard to get? Um, whether it's hard to get or not, there's so many variables like your age, what you did for work, what your conditions are you being treated? There's so many. So in general, if it was easy to get, you wouldn't be looking at my face because I'd be doing something else for work, and I'd be glad to do it. But in general, it's not easy to get. So. Um, Okay, in order to have a free full membership, do you need to have health insurance through you in one of the 50 states? No. Let me explain how that works. So we have think about it as well, actually 3 different types of ways in which you can learn from us. One is these videos you can watch as much as you want on YouTube, and of course, there's no charge. There's ads mixed in. Um, we encourage people to join us as a member so they complete an evaluation. We understand where you're at in the approval process, what your needs are, so we can direct information to you. So, no charge for that. Um, we have additional services that we provide members that we are helping get approved as their disability representative and that have been approved, and we are managing their Medicare insurance or their disability income insurance as a licensed insurance agent. For those people, there's no charge for that. We're paid by insurance companies, but because those help monetize our efforts here, and they're optional, of course, um, then we provide them with different resources. We provide them with some income opportunities. Like if you are a member and we're managing your Medicare insurance, we provide you with a benefit protection plan. It's for free. It's no charge. And the reason why we do that is when you get your continuing disability review, if you have a problem with it, we want to make sure it goes away, and we use our legal team to work with you to help you do it. Request the medical records, review them, write a brief, all that. Because in the insurance world, there's no charge for you to have an insurance agent. Think about your car insurance and all that stuff. Same thing here. So we get paid to do it, and it helps us fund our work. And because of that, we provide this additional benefit as benefit protection. So no charge. So you can listen all here. You just come in, join us as a member, no charge. We don't even have a credit card processing at the Disability Digest. We don't. All right, good question. Thanks for asking. I have been waiting since September of 2021. Sorry to hear that, for a decision. Um, been at 90% completed, a few weeks waiting. Okay, I contacted my congressman. Okay, Becky, what happened with the congressman? Did you get any feedback? One tip for you folks that have been following and reaching out to your congressman. Um, the only instance where I would encourage you to err on the side of caution in doing this, maybe caution is not the right word, is if Social Security, for some reason, in this 9 month period, for example, um, doesn't have all your medical records. So, one of the things you can do, whether you're managing a case on your own or having a representative do it, is make sure that if you have five doctors, that they have all the medical records from the five doctors, because that's what they need to make um, a complete decision. Okay. And if they do, then you definitely want to be, Mr. Congressman, listen, here's my situation. I've been out of work. The disability approval process is supposed to take 5 months for a decision. These guys have all my medical records. Can you help me get them to make a decision on my case? All right. Um, okay. My whole application, from application through hearing to getting paid, was less than a year. You're very lucky. I don't know how you did that. Um, okay. I applied beginning November, just getting to the consultative evaluation. Okay. Um, Great. I just want to see if you guys can help me out, for those of you that are out there. I'd like to know where you're at in the process so I can kind of direct my answers going forward for this. So I just want you to put in the chat a number. And number one would represent that you have not applied. You might still be working, out of work, thinking about it, right? Number two, applied and waiting, waiting for a decision. Number three, you've been denied. Sorry to hear that. Number four is you've been approved. So just put one, two, three, or four in there. That would help me out. Okay. Um, okay. The video you referred to regarding the paid, donated, considered income. Okay. There's a video that you referred me to regarding, it's not real clear, is paid, donated. Okay. I'm going to take a shot at this one. And this is from Juan. If you could rephrase your question, but I think it's about how much money you can make and keep your benefits. And getting some bad lighting here. So this is the situation. And if you're bored sometime, you can call Social Security and ask them, how much money can I make and keep my benefits? Or how much money can I make and apply for disability benefits? Right. I expect if you call five times, you're probably going to get three different answers. Right. But the only thing that I know is the regulation. There is a law that's actually printed. It's online. And it just baffles me why they write the law, but they don't train their team to actually reference the law. So I am, I believe, below here in the show notes. It's not in here, but you can search around. If you can't find it on our YouTube channel, just put in the notes how much can I make. So here's the deal. The regulation for those of you that are approved is you can make $970 a month at the time of this recording, and you can keep your benefits. You can do that every month, right? If you are working and like doing a at-home job or an independent contractor and filing taxes on your income, then it is 970 after your expenses. So the average over the year. Um, now here's the thing: if you go over it, it causes problems. You want to make sure you understand the law. So that's the if you're going through the approval process, you can earn up to $1,350 a month and still apply. Very hard to get approved if you're earning that much money, but you can definitely apply. It's better to, not be working or earning less than, say like 500. Um, my SSI payment, okay, would only be 1,020. So I will be trying to get Medicare plus Medicaid. Um, will for sure need help. Okay, just Bob, when you say SSI, SSI means welfare. If so, in the true sense, it would be my SSDI payment, Social Security, Disability, Income. SSI is just like social insurance. But I got you. We'd be glad to help you out. Okay. I'm wondering if my review will be successful or not. I'm wondering. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, folks. Some of these questions, it's just the text is not, you know, not flowing for me. All right. Good. Thanks again. Just looking at some of these, I have a fully favorable decision. Was denied twice, mainly due to not having MRIs on hand. After I got them, it was a smoother process. Stay the course. That's good advice. Okay. Yeah, medical evidence like that, if you think about somebody with a back issue and there's a picture of it that shows that, you've got like a back fusion, I mean, that's very tough to argue with. If you don't have that, then it's just basically it's self-reported. I can't sit, I can't stand, but I have a back fusion. You can't see it, but I've got it, right? So it's evidence. How often do you get reviewed? All right, good question. Your disability review is going to be the frequency of it is going to be in your award letter, which you may or may not have read and tucked it away or threw it out. Um, but it could be anywhere from a year, 18 months, 3 to 5 years. There's very seldom that I see now that don't have any language like that in there. And according to James Mitchell Brown, attorney Mitchell Brown, is that everybody they have the right to review everybody. And right now, 20% of the disability applicants, about 1.7 million a year, are being reviewed. Um, so the numbers are the highest that they've been. It's going to go to 1.8 in 2023. So I'd look at that. And the key, my message to people is just focus on the controllables, what you need to do to stay in pay status, which we cover on this channel. Or if you're a member with the course that we have, so that you know that you're taking care of everything, and then when you get your review, you're prepared. Where people run into problems, they stop doctoring, or there's other things that they're doing. Uh, they might be drug seekers, might be going to get pain meds at one place and also at another place. Not common, but it does happen. Um, Things like that, where it raises flags. Okay, so we've got some twos applied and waiting. and 4. So it looks like we've got most of the people are in the approval process. Um, okay, can you repeat with what the number was for again? Oh, I got you. So one is you haven't applied. Two is you've applied and waiting. Three, you've been denied. Four is you're approved. Okay. All right. So let's see. I was very vigilant on reading and understanding the whole process. I used the Disability Digest, and I learned on a. Okay, great. Thank you. Glad it worked out. 90% and still waiting. Looks like we're wrapping up with the questions. I need help with my SSDI also. Okay, good. Listen, I believe I've completed all the questions, and if I haven't, you can put it in below this video in the replay at the end. So I'm going to wrap up. So just a reminder, the topics that we covered today will be in the show notes below. Also, if you're not a member or haven't updated us in a while, like Ron, if you remember and you need to get that the uh, directions for your independent medical exam, you can update your membership. And the reason why we encourage you to do that and how it can help you is once you complete the information, we have an understanding like where you're at. Are you a one, a two, a three, a four? And there's other variables that determine what we can provide you to help you out. So simply completing that evaluation, we'll do that, and then we can direct you to it. And in most cases, we have support for you, email support, and oftentimes you can have an opportunity to speak to one of the advocates here for free. So those are some of the ways in which we can help you out. So I hope you appreciate this and enjoy the work that we're doing. If you don't, or you have some feedback, this is an event to serve you folks and to help you out. I'm open to anything that we can do to improve this and improve the work that we do. So stay tuned for more. If you're new here, of course, we encourage you to subscribe and ring the bell so you get future notifications. Plan on being back here next Wednesday. Make it a great day. Stay safe. Thanks.